Howdy. Let's hear from Sadia Khan, a relationship psychologist.
For men and women, I would say self-control. The art of self-control is having a vision. That's all it is. It's not so much being restrictive, but it's understanding where you want yourself to be in the future. Visualizing what your outcome of life will look like, and then using that as a motivator to inform your decisions. And what I mean by this is, I like food. I enjoy all types of food, but because I might have a vision of how I want my body to look, that long-term vision of where I see myself is a motivator for me not to succumb to my desires right now. Similarly, you might love sex with beautiful girls or so on and so forth, but you want a marriage with kids and you want to maintain that. Not everybody, but some men want that. They want a committed, long-lasting relationship. So you have to control what you currently desire for your long-term vision of yourself. And when people forget their outcomes and their long-term visions, and they forget what in the long term could be worst case scenario. Long term, it could be being really overweight, out of shape, in a really unhappy situation. They forget that that's a real consequence of current decisions. That's how they get into a lack of self-control. But if you just remind yourself that you owe your future self good decision making today, it will enable some good decision making.
Sadia is a very accomplished psychologist, building up her own practice, working with some of the most successful people in the world. She speaks about having a vision, something that's helpful for nearly everyone. And that way, as we work day to day, we know what we're working towards. And from that vision that's meaningful, we'll derive motivation. And as things come up, that motivation will allow us to proceed down that same path without distractions. And if something does come up to take one off their course, it can be helpful to maintain that long-term discipline by understanding what that work will result in. And oftentimes, when we compare two things together, something that we really want in the long term versus something that we only kind of want in the short term, it's much easier to focus and keep that discipline to accomplish the bigger thing that really has more meaning. So when thinking for yourself, consider adding some of these tools, and hopefully Sadia's experience can help give you some good paths forward.